Welcome to another session of Orphans of the American Dream. I've got some stuff lined up. So
That's
this
good. You are in
session
charge of that.
will, yeah. This session will probably be the most difficult of the entire campaign.
Oh yeah, we're
This
almost
is gonna
dead.
be this is gonna be it. This is this is this is this is this yeah this is gonna be it.
Connor, yeah.
Last we left off, I don't know, David completely obliterated Luke's face with his hand, so hard that he went down to the bone of his hand. Then Matthew attacked you guys verbally, which didn't go as well rule wise as I expected it to, but it's okay. And Jared attacked David.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Oh, and last session was also your guys' two dream sequences, so keep that in the back of your head as to what you guys what do I want to say divulged? What's the word? What you guys epiphanied in your dream sequences. And basically the last thing that happened was we got some members of the gang standing in the doorway. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a flashback of the gang and give you guys a little bit of a taste as to what happened outside. If this was a lost episode, it'd be called The Other 48 Days, but it's also
classic
because you left.
Right.
So
I haven't seen either of this, but I'll just nod. 48 days seems like a long time, but
what seems like a long time?
48 days.
Oh yeah. So time works differently in this place.
Yes.
I forgot to tell you that we're actually playing in a completely alternate world that doesn't work by any of the rules that you're familiar with.
Bag of holding. It's fine.
Yeah, that's it. The elevator is the gateway. It's the wardrobe to the bag of holding. Anyway, mixing a lot of things all of a sudden. Okay, so we get a shot of the alarm hallways of inside the base. We get a shot of just some red flashing lights on the side of the hallway and the alarm going off, and it's just sounding in the hallway, and that's all that's heard. And it just cuts to a different hallway, and it's kind of the same thing. Get some red flashing lights and the alarm's going off. You don't see anybody or hear anything else. And then the camera goes up a floor, and we start to hear gunshots and warfare. And we get to the surface, and we see a tank roll across the ground. And Josh fires a tank shell into one of the barricades of the base that all the soldiers have set up. And we see some soldiers go flying, and we get a classic Wilhelm scream because we got to have one of those. And we see a jet soar overhead, and we see Mark in a helicopter, and turns on a dime, basically, on the helicopter, and the minigun on the side, but armed by a German soldier, starts firing at the jet, and the jet does a barrel roll and circles back around. And we see Connor on the surface on the ground, and he slides up against one of the houses that they're coming from, and it seems like the your guys' army is gaining ground and getting closer to the base. And we see Adam kind of run and slide up to Connor. And he's like, well, I wasn't expecting us to actually gain ground here. I kind of knew this was a suicide mission going into it, but boy, maybe it's not a suicide mission after all. And
I'm immediately suspicious. Obviously not in this scene, but like I'm thinking now that it is still this bad and they're luring us all in here and they're gonna like blow up the nukes or something bad's gonna happen. They want us to go in.
Okay. So we
calling it right now.
All right. So Connor is like, yeah, I think we might actually win this battle. And he like looks around the corner and a gunshot lands next to the wall, at the wall next to him, and he ducks back over and then peeks out with just his gun and fires a few shots, and then looks out, is firing a few shots at the barricade and like runs to the building next to him and sees Emily. And Emily's patching up one of the cultist soldiers. And the cultist is like, yes, thank you. I'm so blessed to be touched by you. And Emily's like, as she's like tying a tourniquet around his arm. And Emily's like, okay, you're patched up now. And like goes to like give him a pat on the shoulder and then just like air pats and then just like takes a step away. And Connor's like, how's it going? Are you doing okay? And she's like, it's a little weird that the cultists are kind of just going at my command, but yeah, we're doing okay. And I think Alyssa and Ryan come up behind them as well and like rush up to the building. And we hear a like, what's the word? Like a artillery shell fire behind them. And Connor's like, we have to take that out, and like points to the top of the base. And there's like an artillery weapon on top of the roof. And Adam's like, I got it. And like grabs his walkie and is like, Miles, take out the artillery. And we see the jet like barrel roll and spin over and just fire a couple shots into it. And it just explodes, like, and part of the building like collapses to the ground. So we just see this, just a crap ton of stuff going on. But it seems like the battle is definitely leaning towards the favor of Connor's army. And it wasn't supposed to be that way. That was not at all what everybody thought was going to happen. And maybe it was Miles, maybe it was Josh with the tank, maybe it was just the amount of forces you got. No idea. But then we cut over and Connor's kind of like looking at everything. And then he looks over at Emily. And Emily says, well, I think next we got to, and a bullet goes through her head. And she falls to the ground. And one of the cultists, or not one of the cultists,
Sorry,
one of the soldiers from like among the army is pointing a gun behind Emily's head, and Emily is dead. And Connor looks, and this guy who's dressed up like one of the soldiers as a German, what's the word? Complexion? Like
white.
As Connor looks closely, he can tell that he's a German soldier dressed up as one of your guys' soldiers. And immediately, like Adam and Connor and Ryan and Alyssa, everybody pulls a gun on him and just shoots him. And he falls dead.
He didn't.
then what happens is the cultist on the ground turns and looks and says, and like crawls over to Emily's body and is like, you killed her. They've killed Emily. They're traitors. They brought us here to die. And all of the cultists turn and look and start hearing this guy. And Alyssa walks over and like points a gun at the cultist, and Adam like grabs her hand and like pushes her down, and it's like, no, stop. And it's like, guys, that's not what happened. It's clearly a German spy. And all the cultists turn on the army and start attacking inward. And the battle quickly turns into absolute chaos because a third of the army just starts attacking each other. And we see the rest of the battle kind of start leaning the same way. And Miles circles around and is like, Adam, what's going on down there? Why are people... And a bunch of minigun bullets rip into the jet, and it starts smoking. And we see Miles looks down at his arm, and there's like a huge hole in one of his arms. And he's like, and he hits into the base building and just explodes. And we see the like a different artillery weapon start getting assembled at the top of the base, and then fires a shot at Josh, and it like cripples the tank. And a few moments later, we see Josh like crawl out of the top of the tank and like run for cover as he's like firing some shots to get closer to Connor and Adam. And we see just kind of Connor and Adam being like, we have to retreat. We have to retreat as Josh runs up. And Adam is saying, we have to retreat. And Connor says, like, looks over to the base, and he's like, no, if we retreat, their air support is just going to gun us down. We have to get inside. We have to make one last charge. And Adam's like, what? Are you crazy? That's actual suicide. And Connor's like, do you have a better plan? Listen, even if we die, that was the whole point of this plan to begin with, was to sacrifice our lives so that they could complete the mission. Well, now it's trying to sacrifice our lives for us to complete the mission. What if they're dead down there? We don't know. This is our only bet. Besides, I think this is the only way we survive today anyway. And they all just kind of look at each other and nod. And we get just like this like slow motion charge scene where we see just like all of the like main NPC characters just like charging towards the barricades, like paintball style, just like charging down the middle of the field kind of a thing.
Or, like actual war style.
Well, yeah, but in the sense of like, they're just charging, and it takes the German soldiers by surprise.
Yeah. And since none of us have been in a war, that's our only experience with that situation. So I appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. So we see them like just barely able to cut through their line of defense, and they don't turn to the left or the right. They just run past the line as the soldiers kind of turn inward and like try to follow them in. And we just see all of the characters just like rushing down, like shooting bullets as they go. It's to like some of the support Germans as they were like carrying supplies and ammo and stuff like that over to them. But none of them are like as armed as the others. So it's easy for them to just run through. And they're all like running towards the elevator door. And they go and slide into the elevator. Okay, they don't slide. They all run into the elevator that you guys came through. Whoops. And we see some like support soldiers just kind of like pointing in to them as they're all like trying to get into the elevator. So they're like, that way. They're going that way. And right before everybody is on board, Alyssa runs in, and Ryan is the last one to go, and he stops in the doorway, and he turns and looks behind him and sees the soldiers coming, and he takes a step back, and he's like, "This is it, guys. If we don't stop this elevator, if somebody doesn't stay in, they're just gonna disable it." And he like turns to like the controls, and he's like, "You guys got to go. I'll stop it. Try to see if I can stop the other elevators too." And Alyssa like starts screaming, and is like, get inside right now." And I think Connor kind of like puts a hand on her shoulder and is like, "This is the only way." And Alyssa's like, "Then you do it." And Ryan grabs Alyssa and it's like, "I'm the only one who can." And takes a step back, and the door closes. And I think Connor just presses it, and the door just closes on Ryan's smile. And I think we cut down to the basement to you guys.
Yeah, so the door opened and they popped in.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty immediately ask, like, what went on up there? Why are you here?
And Connor looks up towards Matthew, and he's like, "Later."
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's fair. So is Matthew still behind glass that's slightly cracked?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's Josh, Adam, Lynn, Becky, Connor, Mr. Lang, minutes, Alyssa, Clarence, and Helen were already down here with you guys. Emily's dead. Ryan is MIA. And Miles is dead. I think that's everybody then. Okay, just making sure we have a correct tally. And Josh and Adam, I already said that, yeah. Okay, so yeah, definitely kind of the consequences for Caleb not going into get the cultists and you guys not joining in the battle. Things
got it.
Collapsed.
So the named NPCs we know are officially dead are Emily and Ryan.
Ryan is MIA. I haven't
well
shown him dying.
Yeah. Well, he's probably dead.
And Miles, the jet pilot.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's fine.
I mean, percentually speaking, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still in the vent, so.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Does this vent connect to the room that Matthew's in?
Spend a fate point.
Yeah.
David and Jared, you both have one fate point, correct? You both get one refresh. Oh, okie dokie.
What?
Oh, okay.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, never mind. It looked like you stole my fate points.
No, I wasn't even looking at
yours.
Too.
There it is. Yep, that's what it is.
Is there a roll I can make instead?
Jared.
Jared just giving himself all the fate points.
He's not giving himself fate. He's stealing mine.
There's a lesson in Texas for you.
What?
I was stealing. He's like, he's giving himself fate points. He's like, no, he's taking mine. There's a lesson in taxes for the listeners.
Anyway, so I think you could make a roll to get out, but these do not connect to Matthew.
Okay. Well, I mean, I figured getting out wouldn't be very hard. I just wanted to get out somewhere that I wanted to get out. So let's see.
Where are you trying to get out then, besides to Matthew?
Well, I figured it would lead to outside of the door since that's where Liz
Okay,
went. But if for a fate point I can have it connect to Matthew instead, I might do that. I mean, except I know
One fate point.
I know mechanically all he has to do is say something at me and I'll die. So narratively, I'm like, oh yeah, I should definitely go do that. But I don't think I would win. Yeah, I guess I'll just stay in the vent for now because Jared tried to kill me, so I got to figure out what's going on with this.
Okay, sure. So you're just kind of listening in?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so the kind of gang of NPCs walks in, right? And Connor looks up at Matthew and it's just like, well. Looks like we got the rat trapped in its hole. And Matthew says, oh, good. Finally. They know I'm telling the truth about the battle upstairs now. Tell them about how you've lost and how the armies are coming down as we speak to kill every last one of you.
Why does Matthew
There's
sound
no
like John
escape now. Is that what he sounds like now? Oh, you're right. No, that is John's voice.
I was like, I don't remember Matthew being this like Chadley and
yeah, no,
that way.
No, they're coming down to kill every last one of you. Tell them, Connor. Tell them. And Connor just kind of glances at you, Caleb, and at you, Jared, and then just like glances back up. And Matthew says, oh, and you missed something a while ago, Connor. You missed the truth of how your wife died. You see, David and Jared, they had the opportunity to save her. Jared took a step towards the tank to take it for himself. And who grabbed his shirt? Who pulled him away? It was David. And he kind of looks at you, Jared, and looks back at Connor. And he just kind of waits.
I compel Connor to murder David.
Do you really?
No.
Doesn't benefit you at all, yeah.
You compel him to murder you instead?
Connor's not a player.
No, if anything, he'd be like, bro, you were going to sacrifice yourself for my wife.
Bro.
Nice.
Did anybody say anything or do anything?
I mean, they don't know.
They don't know I'm in the vent, so I'm not going to say anything yet.
He was basically just like, you don't know what actually happened. David was responsible.
Yep.
I mean, okay. I think didn't we already have this conversation?
Yes, but Connor wasn't there.
Oh, but Connor wasn't in the room. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at Connor like, does this matter to you?
Yeah. So everybody just kind of waits. And
would that not be an attack roll?
I'm not dealing with it since it's the NPCs. I'm just gonna leave it. Yeah, I think if nobody says anything, Connor just turns and looks at you, Jared, and it's just like, is that true?
Considering I'm still basically dead from last week, he just doesn't have the energy. He just like kind of like looks down into the right. Wait, is it down into the right or down to the left? Which one's the
lying guilty pose, or
yeah?
either
He just looks
way.
down into the
Yeah.
side.
Okay. Yeah. So I think Connor then looks at you, Caleb, and is like, "Did you know about this?"
Just a little bit ago, found out when Matthew's trying to mess with my head too, and with Jared's, and with David's. Don't let him mess with yours.
Yeah, you were supposedly dead twice over. I mean, I don't say that, but
What was that? Where did that come from?
We hear David. If it's anyone's fault, it's Connor's because he was unconscious.
And I think Connor looks to you, Jared, and it's just like, so when I said I didn't blame you guys earlier today, you were just gonna let it go. You're just gonna pretend like.
I mean, I didn't know it then, so I don't. I look at him like I didn't know. Like,
No, Connor's looking at Jared.
that's what I figured. Just want to make sure.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it. Yeah, classic Caleb move. Yep.
So what is it exactly you said?
He said earlier today, I said I didn't blame you guys, and you just weren't going to tell me.
Oh, man, I wish David was here for this.
I mean, he is.
Yeah, he's not participating.
I mean, yeah, I guess for the sake of the
I don't know how to
conversation,
respond to this.
I can jump down, I guess. Like, yes, I'll just jump down out of the place, the vent, wherever they let Liz out, which I assume is nearby.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, and yeah, I just dropped down and I'm like, whatever happened doesn't change who fired the shot. We weren't in the tank.
But you stopped him. You're admitting to that?
What would you have done, Connor?
Admitting that I didn't let him get blown away.
Would you have let Jared die for that?
Connor looks at Jared and is like, didn't you want to?
I look at Connor, I'm like, oh, stop. What is wrong with you? None of that changes what actually happened, all right? We all know that Jared would have died for that. And any one of us would have. All David saw was Jared about to die for a cause that he pretty much thought was lost. I don't blame him. It's not David's fault.
So David, is that actually what he was thinking in that moment?
Well, I mean, David didn't know that the train was almost dead. I did. But
okay, yeah.
I mean, the tank had shot the train like 5 times at that point.
Right, yeah.
And I mean, not only that, but I didn't have any way of knowing. Like, she wasn't even like she was in the train and the train fell and she died. She like, got out of the train and then the bridge snapped and killed her.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even a direct result of the train falling. It was an indirect result. So there was way too many circumstances between me pulling Jared and her dying for me to have known that would be a direct result. I mean, out of character, I knew that was a possibility, but there's no reason that in character that would have been something I would have been aware of, at least not enough to be like in the moment, oh yeah, I shouldn't pull Jared out of the way of a tank. The train had a lot better chance of surviving that than he did. Well, maybe not really, but narratively.
According to how real life works.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think, so do you say anything to what Caleb was saying or like reassure him in any way that, because Caleb basically defended you, was like, this is what David's thought process was. Do you just kind of nod or just leave it?
Yeah, he probably just nods.
Yeah, so I think Connor just kind of looks down at like the gun in his hand. And he like looks up at you, David, and looks at you, Jared, and it's just like, where are your shields, Jared?
I mean, he should see that Lynn and Becky are wearing them.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But you had an extra pair always, so he still asked you that.
Oh no, the extra pair went to Becky.
They're both wearing 2 shields?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds dumb.
What do you mean? I always wore 2 shields.
Right, no, but they're not trained to do that. Like, one makes sense because they could still just like use a gun and stuff. But
What? They never used guns. They just punch.
Oh yeah. Okay, I guess that's
literally
fine
all they
then.
ever did.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, I think.
I mean, normally you'd be right, but this is fate, so no.
I think. Okay, so this I think is what he says. I think he says, Jared, do you want your shields back?
I want to roll an insight.
Insight?
You mean an empathy?
I don't know what system we're playing anymore.
The same system we've been playing for 20 episodes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
1
Gotcha
baby.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did
Very
you?
good.
What? Oh,
Got
you
one.
changed your empathy back over. Yeah, so you definitely think Connor is about to attack you.
There you go.
I mean,
Well,
in Jared's mind, he feels like he deserves it, but yeah.
So what do you do then?
Also, I'm probably keeping my distance from Jared because 20 seconds ago he swung at me with a sword. So.
I don't think I actually even like
I mean,
made an attack at you because you're
No, you
kind of just
didn't.
like in the rafters.
but I ran away, and I would have
Yeah.
only had. Well, I mean, I would have ran away anyways, but
Mhm.
like when it was supposed to be like you making the motion that made me leave, or I wouldn't have like booked it the way I did. It wouldn't have made sense.
I thought you were leaving through the. I thought you decided to leave through the vent before.
But we were going to start shooting the glass. I had found the vent, and then we're like, oh, the bulletproof glass is only kind of bulletproof. And I was like, oh, okay. So then we were going to shoot it. And, but then yeah, you came at me in some way. Or I was like, never mind, vent it is.
Yeah. Okay.
At least that's how I imagined it.
I say it's better they have them. And I motioned to Becky and Lynn.
And he says, good. And he spins around with his gun and starts firing at the bulletproof glass.
I thought you were about to say
Nice.
David or
I thought you were going to say Lynn or them because they were
Nah.
behind him. And I was like, why would you do that? Okay.
And
yeah, I mean,
think
honestly,
as
I
soon
feel
as
like don't we just barrage it, right? Like, I think all of us just.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think first I'd look at you and I'm like, we good? Bigger problems?
I'm sorry.
Don't be. Just give me some heads up next time.
Give me a heads up next time you want to kill me.
But I like that though, because I think in David's head it's like, next time you want to duel, like if you really want to duel to the death, just let me know. Like,
I want to be ready for it.
right? Okay, yeah,
Then yeah, I'll take out my rifle and start shooting the glass too.
yeah. So I think we get that scene, right? And I want you guys to roll for.
Yeah, can whoever has the highest shoot, so David, he'll roll, and then all of us will give him a +1. That's exactly what's happening.
That's legitimately how this would work.
Right.
What?
Okay. And we also have cracked glass to use. So how many
I-
people are?
I throw a rock to give him a +1.
No, you don't. So Josh has a gun. Maybe Josh. No, Josh doesn't have a gun. Yeah, no, he has a
does.
scythe. So Adam has a gun. Connor has a gun. Mr. Ling also just uses like a sword, right?
thought he had a gun too.
I mean, to be fair, these people did come to a battle, and you can't use a scythe in a gun fight. Not normally.
Well,
Not like a gun line.
Josh was using the tank, but
Right, that's fair.
I'll say Mr. Lang has a gun. That's fine. Alyssa has a gun.
Yeah. I mean, I get it in Fate. You have to have skill to be useful in a gun.
Becky and Lynn have crossbows.
No. And then Caleb, so you're getting a +5.
I mean, Becky and Lynn have 7 fight. If they threw that shield, they'd probably do more damage than me shooting it.
Yeah, they'll just Captain America it. You just keep bouncing it off.
Yep.
Sit down.
Yes, David. Yes.
All right.
Oh, nice.
So we see just like a bullet storm, and Matthew just kind of like is frantically inside, and just starts like pushing buttons, and the glass just like shatters, and like it just cracks enough. You guys like can't being able to see anything, and then the glass just like gets shot out in chunks and just like falls apart. I think that's how bulletproof glass would.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't break like a mirror.
Right.
I'm going to use cracked glass too, because it's going to be useless as soon as the glass is glass is no longer cracked.
I heard you say that already.
Okay, so I have a 14 then.
Yeah. So the glass definitely all breaks, and you hear something happening after the gunfire ceases, and you stop being able to see Matthew, like after the glass is like chunks are pushed through, like you stop being able to see him because it got all cracked, and then as the chunks are falling out, like you don't see him in the room. Yeah.
Since Becky, Lynn, and I aren't doing anything, say no if this is doesn't make sense, but we're gonna like all 3 run into the room, and they're both gonna like launch me into the window once the glass is gone.
They just cheerleaders tossing into the air.
Yeah.
You're not gonna want that to happen in just a second.
So you're saving me, is what you're saying.
No, I think preferentially.
Okay.
So something starts happening in the room, and you start hearing a door opening, and I think we get a shot of like the control panel that Luke was trying to wire up, and you guys see just like a huge door opening on the other side of the room.
Not a bipedal mech, I'm going to be disappointed.
What's that?
So if it's not a bipedal mech, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm just kidding.
A bipedal what?
A mech.
Oh, mech. Yeah, you're going to be disappointed.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
So it's a quadrupedal mech. Thank you, Jerry.
It's a tripedal mech.
Yeah.
Quickly types into character sheets. Tripedal. No. So the doors, this like giant like door starts opening, and before the door can open all the way, a giant monster smashes through the door. And you guys see this person whose body and muscles have like expanded.
Oh boy.
Come out, and they have all sorts of like muscles and like tissue like extending from the core of their body. You can kind of tell where the person's body originally was and where this muscle has been like grafted on into this huge monster.
Is this the part where we see Umbrella Corporation on the side of the wall?
No, you hear Sasha's voice in the background, because there's like a dark sludge that's like a dark oily sludge that's like dripping from his body.
Oh boy.
And go ahead and roll a notice check.
Should I add for other people or?
Yeah,
Okay.
have
Yeah,
David
that's
make
fine.
it and then we all add.
Yeah, that's fine.
Ooh,
One
I
for
got a
me.
-1 to that.
You recognize this person as John,
The
Okay.
original John.
the original
Okay,
John.
all right.
Gross.
Arlie.
Fun.
Yeah. And you hear Matthew's voice echo through the PA again, and he says, "Once dead, now reborn. I'm just sad Luke isn't here to see God back from the dead."
Yeah.
And
So
he says-
I know this is what I say. I say, "There's only one God, Matthew, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't look like that."
Yes.
Just look at
and,
Luke. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I did him a favor.
and Matthew says, "Now the monster is out of the closet."
Okay,
How
you
is he
can't
saying
keep.
this?
You're starting to mix your metaphors here, Matthew. Is he God or is he a monster?
Yeah, so
Or
I think y'all
are you
are
trying to
just,
say
like,
that God
mocking
is a
him, right?
monster?
Yeah, so just mocking him. Yeah, and I think
Yeah, because he wants this moment to be like super dramatic and
Right.
Yep.
scary, and
Yep.
we're just like, no, we're not putting up with your crap, Matthew. At least
Yep.
I'm doing that.
No. Is he doing this over the intercom, or is he? Because you said he
Yeah.
wasn't in the room. Okay.
His location is unknown. You just don't see him in the room because you guys are
Right.
below him, and the glass isn't all the way to the ground, and there are also like controls and stuff like that up there. So it's possible that he just like is on the ground.
Okay.
But it's also possible that he left the room.
Right.
So for that, we're going to start combat. Caleb, can you find a giant monster looking token for me?
I can certainly try.
And then the NPCs are definitely going to be a part of this fight. But if you guys don't want to do turns for them every time, which is I think is probably what we want to do, my idea was just kind of doing how we did before, where if
divvy them up.
not necessarily divvy them up, but just like you don't have to assign them to different people, but we can just if you think narratively speaking, it would be like feasible for so and so to help you with what you're doing. Just describe it, just narrate it in a really cool way, and or not in a really cool way if you want to, and just have them give you a +1, and they're just helping you with that action. Just as long as the same person isn't helping two people in a round, I don't really care.
Every single one of us is helping David.
So this is going to be the hardest combat in the entire game.
Mhm.
Okay, so real quick, let's take an inventory here. David and Jared, what do you think the best strategy is for dealing with this? Are we doing what Jared just suggested, and just what if we just help David every round and David just keep shooting him with his
Numerically
many
speaking,
bonus?
I think it would be both David and I, because we both have relatively the same bonus. We could just both throw ourselves at it, and you and everyone else making
Doing creative advantages.
Yeah, the main concern is going to be us surviving
yeah.
that. So yeah.
So yeah, if we do this, Jared's in charge of defense, David's in charge of offense.
That's
And-
not gonna work anymore.
Yeah, no, he's
That's
not-
true. That's true. Jared's
Just
like
do that
almost
anymore.
dead. Yeah.
He broke the synergy of the boss fight.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're dead then. Thanks, Jared.
I should have taken. I should have took my shields back and then redid my character sheet.
I mean, you could have.
That would have been.
I don't think
really
Connor will
dumb.
let me.
I would not have let you.
Oh,
No, not at
okay.
all.
That would have been really dumb. Undo all that character growth for.
So yeah, the issue is if we don't have Jared doing defense, then we probably want to do creative advantages, because then we can use those to also soften blows. Because if we're just giving bonus like +1s, if all the rest of the NPCs in me are just giving +1s to David, that'll give a guaranteed bonus, but it also won't help if one of it gets hit. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, you probably want to create advantages.
Would-
not only are they +2s instead of +1s, but
Exactly.
anyone can
You
use
can
them.
And not
lively.
everyone could feasibly. Are we doing the rule where they have to have the same skill to help, or they're just arbitrarily helping?
Well, it would be you get a +1 if you have a +1 or higher skill to
Okay.
help. Yeah, so it would be people who can
So-
shoot.
The shooty people help David, the talky people help Caleb, and the punchy stabby people help Jared.
That's true. Yeah. How many NPCs do we actually have to work with in this fight?
I think 6. Oh, that
So can
token is so much cooler, David.
It's a Resident
Oh
Evil
my
boss.
goodness.
I wasn't being sarcastic when I said it was a Resident Evil.
Wait, where is it? It's not popping.
In the
It's
yeah. Oh my goodness.
Connor,
It's one of the
Yeah.
biomorphs.
there's
bosses.
a glaring continuity issue.
Yes.
The
using
fans
swords
must
again?
know where the most famous, cherished NPC ever, Granola. Where is he?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Granola is dead and in pieces. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, he can be wherever you want. He's yours.
I mean, Granola
Yes.
is pretty crumbly. So
Kill me.
So what if we say this, Connor? How about for simplicity's sake, since there are 6 NPCs, what if each of us just get a +2 on whatever they do?
that might be an easier way of doing it.
Right. So I get a +2
That's
to
fine.
rapport. David gets
That's
a +2
fine.
to shoot.
I just want y'all to be able to, you guys can narrate how the NPCs are helping you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted it to be like if you want to get a
Right.
+3 bonus or whatever, just describe how the other 3 people are giving you a boost or like
Oh, I see what you're saying.
helping
Yeah.
you with that or distracting him with that. I figured it would be more fun than just a static bonus to everything.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's fair.
Especially because the skills themselves, like it doesn't make sense if
Like Lynn shoots things with me.
right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Figured it allow for some more creativity as the fight's going on. Some more
That makes
fun.
sense.
Sure.
So yeah. For turn order, I'll get Liz out of here.
Does the slobbering dead meat monster have a better notice than me?
No.
Good, or else David will have some words.
Everything is at a 7.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's got better than 7 and something, at least. I mean, Lynn has a 7 in fight, so
So where are we on this map, you think, Connor?
we're on the doorway, so wherever that would be.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say Matthew's window, right, is up here. So you guys will either be in the center here or like nearest the door. I'd assume this is probably the place that makes the most sense, like a zone away from the window, so you're not looking straight up.
Okay,
Right,
I'm confused
that
about
makes
the layout of this room.
Okay, so the door that all the NPCs came in is here, as well as you guys. The door the monster just came out of is here, and then the
Right.
window that Matthew was in is up
Okay.
here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And then we can
Well,
say
sure.
the rafter opening is on the left here.
Right. Cool.
And yeah, however you guys want this to go, just do it. Like I have allowed this for boundless creativity,
Mhm.
into even where you guys will take this fight. So
Mm-hmm.
if we want to do an injustice scene where you punch him so hard it goes into
Goes through the
next
wall to the
room,
next
yeah.
area. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Or maybe
Well,
he'll
that's the
punch
thing,
you
though.
guys
Then
the
his
next
health-
room.
Then his health regenerates. That's the problem.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
round 2. We don't want that. We just want to finish it right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what we'll do is we'll just glitch through the wall and go to the next area.
Oh yeah, just
do the
roll
final
really
cutscene.
hard in the corner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 We just have to get him stuck on some terrain.
Well, this is what we'll do. David and Jared.
Yeah. Get cheese him.
Yeah, David and Jared will just like try to stall him as long as possible, and I'll just keep pressing circle in the corner, and we'll just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Eventually, I'll
teabag the
flip
corner.
through.
I mean, how tall is this thing?
Very tall.
All
Okay.
of the tall.
His
So-
he's this big.
So if I were to
Like 10
run
feet, you
up-
thinking?
Oh shoot, Gwendolyn's waking up.
Larger than
Well, never mind. I'm gonna do nothing. I'll be right back.
okay.
Want to take a break?
So we can take a break. Okay,
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back with some more Orphans of the American Dream. Got a couple hours left, so should be good stuff. All right.
We'll be back.